Fantasy Philosophers is brought to you by fantasy-info.com.
Devin Aromashodu was basically a non-factor until the final month of the 2009 season, but once he got it going, he really rolled on. He had a nice game. I believe it was about 7 receptions or so, about 80 yards and a touchdown against the Green Bay Packers. He came back the next week, didn't do that much, but the next week he had a fabulous game. I believe it was about 6 receptions, 150 yards, and a nice long touchdown at the end of the game to win it in overtime for the Bears to beat the Minnesota Vikings. And then he comes back in the final week of the season and posts 2 touchdowns against the Detroit Lions. This was a nice progression from a kid that does have some talent. He's got a little bit of size, which is nice because there are some undersized receivers definitely on the Chicago Bears, so it's nice to see a guy that has some size with the talent. What I do like even more so out of Devin's run that he put together there at the last month is that all 3 of his big days were all against all 3 of the teams in his division. So it shows you that he can be productive when he goes up and plays those 3 teams in the division, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, and hey, that's 6 games of the 16 that you play in an NFL season, so that definitely matters, and that's nice to know when you're ranking him for your fantasy team coming into this year. Devin Aromashodu, is he a fantasy sleeper this year? Definitely he is. But right now, we need to see him take over more in the offense and be the starter. We've seen really good things for him this offseason as Mike Martz comes into town in January. He loves to throw the football, obviously, and he loves to do it with his wide receivers. He's still got a good quarterback in Jay Cutler that, hey, whether you like him or not, no one can discount that Jay has the ability to gun the ball all over the lot, and he can definitely put up numbers. Now, maybe he's going to throw a lot of interceptions, but he's going to throw yardage, and he's going to throw touchdowns too. And so with Aromashodu, that's what you want from a fantasy receiver. You want your quarterback being aggressively throwing the ball and has that ability to make any type of throw and has confidence in you. And Jay really does like Devin. He has said that over and over again. He likes this little receiver, and he would like to continue to keep working with that guy. So those are all good things for him. In OTAs right now, as it is early OTAs, Devin Hester and Johnny Knox are in front of Devin, but they are pushing Devin hard. There is a lot of talk out of the coaching staff, and Mike Martz has praised Devin for his work, so these are all good things. They do want to see him take over. So look for him to continue to be pushed, to be a guy that they want to see start as we get into training camp, as we're getting into preseason, and if he starts showing his talent, which I think he will because he is working hard this offseason, then he should be starting by the time the year starts, but we need to keep an eye on this throughout the summer because if he's not starting by the time we get to our draft days, then we got to rank him down a little bit more. We got to look at him more as a late round flair guy that you're going to want to put on your team, but you're going to probably have to stash until he gets into that starting lineup again. But if he's going to start right away, then here we go. Here's a guy that you need to move up a little bit more on those draft boards, and he could be a guy that maybe you're not starting in week 1, but if he starts showing life like he did at the end of last season, you better get him in there.
For more fantasy football information, go to fantasy-info.com and sign up for our free e-newsletter. Good luck in your 2010 Fantasy Football League. As an added bonus, the Fantasy Info guys will include their 5 secret tips for success in